Good morning, good morning. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss Jackie Diamond, Jackie Deja, whatever you call me. Ooh, I'm real tired, y'all. Real tired, beat down. Was in the process of getting ready to go work. However, I was listening to a guy. He was reading the Bible for the people on TikTok. And at first I was interested. But he kept doing something over and over, and I had to leave, and I'm going to tell y'all why. And this is why we're getting rid of the old pastors, the old way of life, because they hid many, many things. And they taught us negatively, which gave us negative impacts, which made us afraid of God. Okay? Now, yeah, we're supposed to be afraid of God to a certain extent, but not so afraid to where we don't want to join him. And I felt the need to speak on this because we've been bringing our children back to God. And the people of the old days, meaning people of my age and some a little bit older, they worked based on what they were taught, based on the Bible that was tampered with. I could say it that way. Or the word that was tampered with. I say it 1,000,001 times. The Bible is a instruction booklet to life. However, we apply it to our lives. Okay? We can't go word for word in the Bible because certain things just don't sound right. Reason why it doesn't sound right is because it was tampered with. But we read and we get the overall understanding of what God wanted from us. Okay? With that being said, I'm tired of hearing these people be so judgmental. That's number one key. I had someone ask me, why do you have a lot of exes? I said, because they wasn't right. And my Bible tells me if it's wicked, get away from it. I was always the one that'll go ghost. But the moment that I dedicated myself to my relationship, no matter what was going down, for 17 years, I was taken had of for $250,000. I was being mentally abused. My child was being mentally abused. For that same person to walk away and just abandon us. Okay? And it's just the facts. Now, if I would have done what I used to do, was go ghost, it would have never happened. Because God gave me the signs. He gave me the red flags. But I said, I'm going to do something different this time. I'm going to try something different this time. And it got me worse off than if I would have left. Staying got me worse than if I would have left. So I say that to say, if you're practicing the word of God and your soul is good and you're trying to live good and you're trying to live righteous, if your mate is not right, get away from it. You can tell within roughly 90 to 120 days if a person's interest is to build and survive within a relationship. learning together and building in the name of God. You can learn that within 90 to 120 days. Unfortunately, a lot of the people in the past dealt with a lot of things. And that's why they died very, very young, because they took on a lot of stress. Okay? You know, some men, it's so bad to where they will literally kill a woman, physically and mentally. I had a friend. Her name was Ella. I met her in Maryland. God bless her soul. She was from New York, but I met her in Maryland. And she moved to Maryland with her man. And she had 2 children. He got her children taken away from her with the nonsense he was doing. So much went on, it led to her having a stroke. Okay? And this just wasn't no baby stroke. This was a stroke that put her in a wheelchair for the rest of her life. And then anytime she went through worry or stress, another one would come. And another one. Until her body couldn't take it no more. Let me tell you something. This lady was the sweetest woman. It brings tears to my eyes. She was the sweetest woman. I mean, she had a past. Everybody has a past, you know. But she was so sweet. And when I heard her story, you know, it ailed me. And the reason why it ailed me is because I was physically going through the same thing. Where I had a man that really didn't care, and I knew it. But just to hold on and say, I've been with this man for this amount of time, and, you know, he's been there, but what was I going through? Was I happy? I did everything in my power to try to make this man happy, for him to see the light of God. And what relationship stood for. And how we worked together as family. I took his kids as they were my own. And anytime they needed, I came out my pocket as if they were my own. That's family. I accepted his ex-wife. I accepted his baby mother. We talked like there was no tomorrow. On the benefit of the children. Watching the peace within. Never had an argument nor fight with neither one of his kids' mothers. I even allowed my daughter, even though I was a nervous wreck, and it's just because of having a new child, to take my newborn baby just so her sister can have the experience of being with her sibling young. That's family love. And I did everything in my power, you know, to accept things that I wouldn't normally accept. for peace, to live the life that God had given me. See, sometimes we have to sacrifice in order for God to truly bless us. And believe me, I was blessed. Financially, I didn't want for anything. You know why? Because I surrendered. But the whole time, the man that I was dealing with was a demon. His alternative motives wasn't pure. Alternative motives, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. We, as humans on this earth, with our leader, Jesus Christ, I believe in the Trinity. I believe in the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, and our Father Jehovah. Everybody call him something different. They call him Allah, the Alpha, the Omega. They got a bunch of names. Buddha, whatever y'all call him, but he's at the top, and that's just the bottom line, okay? And we have to see God at the end, and sometimes he teaches us lessons over and over and over until we get it right, and sometimes the lessons don't even be ours. They be for other people, to see how true their heart really is. And if they really changed. Okay, because sometimes God would take, especially his people, because he know you can deal with it. He know the path that you're going to take before you even take it. So sometimes what God will do is take you as a token, because he know that it will apply to that person to see how that person will respond. That's what God does on a regular basis. And we have to take note of these things. People say, oh, don't overthink. If you don't overthink, you'll find yourself sometime in a mess that you can't get out of. Getting back to this pastor that was talking about the people, he was saying, and I agreed, that being holy is within, it has nothing to do with the clothes you have on, has nothing to do with how you look, it has to do with the way you respond to certain situations. The way you respond. It's your actions. That's what makes you holy, your actions. The way you respond to certain situations. Now, I've been going through a lot within the last, I would say, 60 days maybe. I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about the situation. I'll tell y'all about it. So y'all can see the scenario of how people could destroy something good with their actions, not being sincere. And I also want to say this, people, if you find that you have negative people around you, I don't care who it is. It could be your parent. It can be anybody. Get away from it. Stress is the number one killer. And I've been telling people this for over 10 years. That's why I created Proper Friend LLC and Proper Friend Incorporated. This is why I go out, and when people are in need, I help. Because it can put so much stress on you to where you will be sick and die. And sometimes it's not even meant for you. But the reality of it is, you had to go through it anyway. I have a family, I know y'all don't ever see them in my pictures and stuff like that because my family refuses to surrender and come to the South, okay, where we could live beautifully, if we work together. Now, even in the Bible, even though all of Jesus Christ's disciples wasn't totally loyal, but most of them were. And that's how they survived. No one can do anything by themselves. Not even God. That's why he appointed Jesus. But they have this thing where, we as women and men can do things alone. Everything has to be done within a team. Even the Holy Trinity is a team. The Holy Spirit moves. Then you have Jesus Christ and our Father God. So where do they get that people can do things alone? Where do they get it from? It was something that man came up with to destroy. Yesterday I was telling my daughter's father to stop lying. I said, stop lying so much. You know what he told me? Because he can't lie anymore, he says to me, well, you're on your own. I've always been on my own. You need to think. I was taking care of you for 15 years. So I've always been on my own. So the point that I'm trying to get to is, they don't even think. They don't even think about the things that transpired that got them to where they are. How are you telling me you're on your own because I'm asking you to stop lying, to stop sinning, to stop being a demon? So I have to accept your demon ways in order for you to help me? Make it make sense, people. No, God tells me if it's wicked, get rid of it. And that's just the facts. See, people can't stand real Christians. They always want to downplay them and talk down on them and mistreat them and, And we accept that because we're God's people. See, like here in Charlotte, they won't give me a job for what I'm worth. Because they wanted to see me fall apart. But I'm not going to fall apart. You know why? Because I'm a token of Christ. And if you follow the word of God the right way, your actions show there's nothing to worry about because you don't gave it to God. And anything that you try will hurt you more than it will help you destroy. Because God is a good God. God is not going to destroy. So anybody or anything or any entity that tries to destroy a person is a demon. That's just the facts of it. Because God doesn't destroy on earth. His people, that's not what he teaches us. Now, in the book of Genesis, he did destroy because he wanted to redo it again. That's like when you build something and it's just not sitting right. And you take it apart and you redo it again. And he saw that that wasn't working either. So maybe if I come in man form, maybe they'll listen. Well, that didn't work either. Maybe if I collect more profits and send them out there to teach, that's not working either. Why don't these people want to be good? Oh, because he cast the devil down, when that should have been the one that he destroyed. And that's just what I see. You know, everybody have their own theory. But he should have just destroyed the devil instead of casting him down to earth. Because you got more people that will ride with the devil than they will God. And it's sad. They just think certain things that they do is okay. And don't realize it can destroy. Now, a lot of the men that we read about in the Bible, the women, they wasn't perfect, but they belong to God. They believed, but they wasn't perfect. But the moment you decide to start putting other people in harm's way because of your decisions, you have to be accountable for your actions. And that's just the way God sees it. It may not come today, but it's going to come. And the more and more that you do to try and harm certain people or certain things, the more things is added up on your list of karma. And that's just what it is. Going back to the pastor, he made a statement. Oh, these people with their tight abs and tight clothes don't mean that they believe in God. Well, God tells us to work every day. And scientific shows. This is just the facts, people. Now, mind you, I'm on both sides. Okay? 1, I was a science major. 2, I'm strong, I believe in God. And this is the reality of it. And this is what pissed me off with him, so I had to get up off there. Can't listen to stupidity. Scientific shows, the more that you work out, the longer you'll live. Because your body gets regulated to your blood flow. You take stress a little bit, less than an average person. Just like myself. I work out, I eat healthy, I don't drink, I don't use drugs. I do smoke cigarettes, though. And I rented a U-Haul truck and put my stuff in the truck. Now, certain things I needed extra help with because my daughter wasn't strong enough. However, I'm 53 years old and I moved to my house. Okay? Y'all tell me if a 53-year-old alcoholic or drug addict or a person that don't work out on a regular basis would have been able to do that. The reason why I'm saying this is because he made it known that those people wasn't the people to look at. But God has given us strength. That's why I had to let it go. I had to get up off there. God has given us strength by being obedient to working every day, working our bodies every single day. Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to work our bodies every single day and then rest. You got to make it make sense now. The Bible's an instruction booklet to life. We take key things, good things, because we know God is good. And what we do, apply it to our lives. Working out every day, doing things repetitively, gives you strength. So we listen to these old pastors, okay, that reflects death. And they say to people, oh, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. Those are false people. They not telling you the truth, you know. And I know it's hard to get closer and closer to God, people. I know it. You know, it's hard. You know, because you say to yourself, the closer I get to God, the less I have. But in reality, that's not true. The closer you get to God, and if you do things the proper way, the more you'll get. But you just got to follow the channels of what God need us to do. And that's just what it is. Okay? And that's just the facts. Loyalty, respect, trust. Not only for yourself and your mate, but for God. And then that's your blessing. But the more you pull away from that, the more destruction you're going to see. I had somebody tell me, I was saying I needed something. And they was like, I'm going to just take it from my job. What? Now, mind you, if you get caught, you can lose your job. So why would you jeopardize that? This is supposed to be your bread and butter. Make it make sense, people. You got to make it make sense. When I used to work at Amazon, you know, they would stand there and say, we all do it. I said, well, I'm not doing it. Just because y'all all do it don't mean it's right. Y'all just following somebody else that's done it and you saw that they didn't get in trouble or get caught. But the moment that you get caught, you're going to lose your job. Now, God sent me to tell y'all this. Because I'm not doing it. But getting back to this person. So I say, well, why don't you just ask them? You know, go to your supervisor. Hey, you know, I'm really short of money and I need such and such and such. You know, can you help me out. And he said, they're going to say no. So you know they're going to say no, but you would still. And if you get caught, you're going to lose your job. You got to make it make sense, people. And just make it make sense. Okay? I love that term, make it make sense, because if it don't make sense, why would you do it? Why would you do it? For one, it's not godly. You can't serve two masters. You can't serve the devil and serve God too. You can't do it. Do you know what I told him? My friend, I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. I said, I'll get it. I said, God gonna give it to me. I just gotta have patience. And I know God is gonna give it to me so I can get what I need. Because I try to be a faithful servant as much as possible. And he knows my heart. I'm going to tell you the scenario about my landlord. What I'm going through. And I always tell y'all my stories. The reason why I tell y'all my stories is because it have y'all be able to reference certain things in life, to help y'all, and which it is testimonies. And this is a testimony in the building. I can't wait to see the outcome. I've been living in my apartment for 7 years. Okay, my daughter's father abandoned us and just bounced out left. Yeah, he helped with a couple of months of rent. However, for the most part, he really didn't do much. Okay, I've been paying these bills for the last 2 years that he hasn't been here. Okay, so I've been struggling. I had to work 2 jobs, in order to try to pay the bills, take care of my daughter, while my daughter's father wasn't even giving me child support. I was working 2 jobs to try to maintain. However, it was pulling me back. My daughter was in sports. I needed money for that. She had to get to and from, practices. I had to have gas money for that. It was so much that I had to do. Okay? And I had to do this alone. Okay? Nobody. No help. I'm going to tell you another story, too. So my landlord kept saying, sometimes men just need a break and they need to just, go away or whatever the case may be. But he'll be back, just, So now, mind you, I'm struggling. I'm working hard every single day trying to maintain life. And still be a parent, still follow the rules of parenting, taking my daughter on a weekly basis, on an outing, whether it be the park, whether it's to go have donuts or yogurt, ice cream, whatever, just a day where she could spend with me, And mind you, I still own a nonprofit and a business too. So I'm out there and I'm hustling and I'm trying to sell my products. My everyday life was just get up and work. Nothing else, just work. And I said, this is not what God intended for me. Okay, I knew that. But because there was demons around me, and demons in the process of things, this is why I had to work so hard. Yeah. I'm on a podcast. Yes, I'm on a podcast. Anyways, so I worked, like I said, 2 jobs to try to maintain. I worked so much to where my body would just shut down. Like one day I got so sick, my other job, we had to work 5 days straight, 10 hours, And I just came from working 7 days a week. And then now I got to work 5 days a week, 10 hours a day. And my body just shut down. It just, so I go to the doctor and the doctor says, I don't know what's wrong with you. You don't have COVID. You don't have the flu. I don't know what's wrong with you. And he said, all I can say is just go home and thug it out because we're not getting what's wrong with you. So I came home and pretty much that's what I did. I thugged it out. And 2 days, 48 hours, I was better. And my body just needed to rest. It was tired. It was beat down, okay? Now, mind you, nobody paid attention to my fight. Nobody paid attention to that fight. Or trying to get through while my daughter's father goes and lays and do whatever he wants to do, and I'm fighting every day of my life to maintain, okay? However, he calls and says, well, now I'm in a relationship. So, of course, I'm not coming back. So, I told my landlord what he said, So my landlord immediately says, well, you don't have a man, so I'm putting you out. Because after I texted him and told him that, the next text back to me stated, well, I'm going to give you a 30-day notice. So I said, oh, okay, so this is how this is going down. Now, mind you, I'm the one that's been fighting to pay these bills for the longest. Okay? So now, I say to him, I want to tell you how he messed himself up. Okay? You got to follow me. This is why people need to evaluate things before they start talking and start doing things. Okay? Now, I told him, I said, well, I lost my job. My job, they messed me up. There's another one. Okay, I'll talk about that another day. I said, but I'm still looking for work, and I'm out here trying to do DoorDash, okay? And I'm trying to go up north to see if there's more money up there. If I have to leave here to go up there to make the money for you, I'll do whatever I got to do to get this money for you, okay? And this is what I told him. Now, mind you, the same landlord, I asked, now I've been in this house for 7 years. 7 years. The same landlord never once painted this house. Y'all witnessed me paint my bedroom, okay? Only because my fans requested me redo my room, being that I always do a lot of my my videos in my room. So I redid my room, okay? That was on their behalf. He wouldn't take up the carpet. Y'all know that they redoing all of the apartments. He didn't take up the carpet. He didn't fix the counters. He didn't do anything, okay? Nothing. I got rust on the banisters on the outside. Bugs sometimes. A lot of things going on. Can you turn that alarm off, please? Okay, but where's the alarm at making a noise? Anyway, so now he has me stressing a little bit, okay, when he tells me, oh, you gotta go. So I'm like, oh, wow. So now I'm trying to look for a place. Okay, mind you, my credit went down because, here we go back to the other guy. I had bought a car for my daughter's father, and the car, he was using it to drive Uber. The car started getting on different type of problems, and he left me with this car, which he had promised me a new car. Okay, this is why you can't lie or move too fast when you're dealing with certain situations. And this is where they always mess themselves. Okay? He told me he was going to buy me a new car because of the car being destroyed. He told me, you're going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Okay? He folded on that. Okay? But I reflected my life based on what he said. Okay? This is why we tell people to speak the truth. Because when you lie, you're going to get a negative outcome or it's going to backfire. Okay? And if it doesn't backfire in your life, it's going to backfire in somebody else's. This is why we tell people don't lie. No matter how bad it's going to hurt a person, the truth is always the way to go. Because it can destroy someone's life. Now, by him lying to me and me waiting for him to buy me a new car, the car breaks down on me. So now I'm forced to buy a new car. So I'm able to get my daughter to school, get my daughter to her practices, whatever she's doing. I got to be able to get her there and make sure that she's in a safe vehicle. So I had to go out and buy a second car. Now I had 2 cars on my credit report, which dropped my credit score. How am I supposed to get an apartment if my credit score is low? You got to make it make sense. Now, mind you, now I'm going to go back a little bit. I had told my landlord, I had said to him, I had took some money out my pension. And I told my landlord, I said, no, he said to me, and it was crazy because he came by to fix something. And I was going to tell him I was thinking about moving. Okay? I was going to tell him this. But he came out his mouth and he said, I'm going to be selling the place. So I said, well, Tommy, being that you're going to sell the place, I live here. I have first dibs, So he looked at me and I said, well, I need some numbers so I can go get pre-approved. So he didn't give me no numbers. Okay. I called different places and my credit wasn't at where it really needed to be, but my son was available to do it for me. So I called him and I let him know. I said, listen, my son is going to do it because I need the place. This is where I run my nonprofit. I didn't hear anything. Okay? So, now I'm at the point okay, so what is he going to do? Is he going to sell it to me or what? Is he waiting for me to build my credit up? But why you got to be so adamant about me? My son is my son. He's on the business as well. And that's what pissed me off because that means you're not even paying attention to my business. I'm not the only one on that business. My son is on it as well. So he has the same amount of rights that I have to this business that's located at this address. So it doesn't matter whether he buys it or I do. What matters is that we keep it because this is where the government knows this nonprofit to be. When you call 611, they're going to give you this address right here. Not an address somewhere else. So now you're hurting the people. Okay, so he didn't evaluate the whole situation. By you lying or misleading, it can hurt others. So I mind you now, he wanted me to move. So I went, got the money up so I can get a truck to get my stuff out of here. Let me tell y'all, everything in its mama happened throughout that process to where I could not leave this place. And I texted him and I told him and I said, listen, I'm trying to leave. But God is not allowing it. So what is that telling you? That same money that I rented for that truck could have been in your pocket. That truck ran me $600. It went to waste. when it could have been in your pocket. So you see how sometimes people can do things to you and it backfires because you're being ignorant on the actions of how God would deal with something? His actions forced me to spend more money on other things instead of being in his pocket. So you see how sometimes lies, misleads, and deception can actually do more harm than good. So he pretty much hurt himself more. And now I got to go back to square one, which I could have been at square one 30 days ago. Okay? So you see how people and their deceptions, their lies, their misleading, their this chaos, not want to be in peace, can harm you more than help. So that's what he's done. He's done it to himself. So now he has to wait even longer. So now what I'm waiting for is him to get an eviction, and then we'll go through the process. Maybe by then we can come to an agreement whether or not you're going to handle this the respectful way, the godly way, or you're going to keep being a demon. Because all it's going to do is continue to backfire on you, not me. Because I've been good. I've been here for 7 years. Out of those 7 years, only one time the government had to pay my rent. Okay, in full. And that was during COVID. I had a job. And when I didn't have a job, my significant other had something to help. So look at the facts. See, people forget about what happened in the past. He forgot when you met me, I was the one that was working, not my significant other. I was the one that had the access to the money, not my significant other. See, he wasn't looking at the facts. And that's what kills people, you know. They don't look at the facts, or they forget the facts. They always so-called want to down you and mistreat you. It's not my fault that the states or the jobs that I apply for, even though I'm worth $120,000 a year, if I get the right job, they don't want to hire me because they don't want to pay me that. That's what my skills are worth. However, I have to take these penny ante jobs and work triple hard to give money. If I was able to get a job in my field, I wouldn't even be here. So you got to make it make sense. My resume is valid. Everything on it. The same thing that's on my resume is on my credit report. The same jobs. So it should tell you where my life was versus then to now. Is Charlotte blackballing me because they don't want me to make a certain amount of money because of the color of my skin? Maybe. Who knows? But the fact still remains, I was always the head of household. So how would you try to take that away from me just because a man decided to abandon me? That wasn't right anyway. You got to make it make sense. I was carrying him. The car that he drove to go out to drive Uber was in my name. If he didn't have that car, he wouldn't have been able to do anything because he couldn't get a job. So you got to make it make sense. This is why we say you need to overthink and you need to analyze. Because if he would have thought about the situation, he would have even been saying, oh, I heard this job needs people here. Apply for this. Not, oh, well, you got to go. So that's how you know if there's a demon working or if it's somebody godly working. The actions of people shows you who they are. Not the clothes they wear, not the makeup they wear, not the car they drive. It's how they treat people. That's how you know when somebody's holy and they're working for God. Now, because I'm all around these demons, they don't want to help because I'm too holy. I don't drink. I don't party. I don't get high. I take my daughter out on outings. They think my life is miserable, but actually, I save a lot of money not getting high and drunk. That's the reality of it. I probably wouldn't make it through half of the things that I've made it through if I did use drugs and alcohol. And that's just the facts. So I say that to say, people have to learn to think. Because what happens is things backfire on them. Just like the situation with my car. The lies that he told brought a negative impact on me. But he didn't care. He didn't care whether or not his daughter was going to be safe. This is just the reality of it. We have to look at the facts. The same with the Bible. The facts. You take the facts and make it make sense. Now, getting back to the pastor, I was just telling you those stories so y'all can get the understanding of where I'm going with this. Why we don't lie. Why we don't mislead. Because it can bring negative impact to others that were hurt. And then you have to deal with that. You have to deal with that karma. You have to deal with that negative impacts that's going to come at you because you not only hurt one person, you hurt a whole bunch. So the man says, these people walking around with these tight clothes on and they skinny bodies. And so we know he's jealous, okay, which is a sin. You wouldn't speak upon certain things if it didn't rub you the wrong way, you know? And that means you're jealous of it. Only God is allowed to be jealous, not us.
the society normalizes them sins. Jealousy as a sin, lying as a sin. All those sins they normalize it in society.
So, right, society.
Society.
And she's 100% correct. They normalize it. In other words, saying it's okay when it's not. And gossiping, another sin. We're trying to get away from all of those type of things because that's why our people are the way they are. And we say, well, what's wrong with these people? They crazy. They were taught the wrong way. They think it's okay. And then their kids are watching them do it, and then their kids think it's okay. And it gets passed down generation after generation after generation. And we're trying to end those negative impacts on generations. We have no other choice. And this is why we're working hard. There's a lot of people working hard, and I'm one of them, to teach, to break these curses that these people have created. Because the things they think they're doing is okay. It's like when a man has a woman, it's not okay to abandon a man. Abandon your family. It's not okay. But they think it's okay to just walk away. Now, I'm going to say this. I hate to keep bringing up my daughter's father. I got a divorce from my husband, okay? Because my husband went to jail. And it was very hard for me to survive when he went to jail. And I met my daughter's father in the process of all of that. And when I got my divorce, he sat at that table, okay, with the judge right with me. When the judge said, your husband abandoned you. And I said, did he really? I said, well, went to jail. He said, he did negative things knowing that he had a family behind you. Now, mind you, the judge, okay, now this is man. This has nothing to do with the Bible. This is man saying this. He said, your husband went out there and did negative things to go to jail, which put a negative impact on you, which is abandonment. I'm giving you this divorce on the grounds of abandonment. Granted, my daughter's father wasn't married to him, but you were sitting at the table when the judge said, if you leave your family, by law, it's abandonment. You heard the judge say this. To turn around, even though you wasn't forced. My ex-husband was forced because he did a negative act, which led him into being forced to be removed from the home. This man wasn't forced. He took it upon himself, which is worse. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I try to tell people that all the time. And I have 1,000,001 stories or testimonies that I can give you people to give y'all key points of why things don't go right because of people misleading, their lies, and the things that they do. And why people fail in negativity. Now, this next woman that he's gotten with, she don't know all of this stuff went down. Because, of course, he's not going to talk about his past. He's only going to talk about certain things. And most of the time, they're going to, in relationships, you're only going to tell the negative things. But you don't tell the impact that you put upon those negative things to get them where they are today. You don't tell that part. This is why you have to continuously be misleading and keep lies. Okay? So, I say all that to say, it's better to just tell the truth. It's just better to tell the truth. And that's just what it is. The man was saying about the clothing, going back to the pastor, talking about the clothing. Now, he doesn't know, and these are just the facts, that man has made a material called Lycra and a couple of other materials that's similar, which is a cheaper material, which is not going to destroy the plants or animals. They don't have to be sacrificed in order for us to wear clothing. However, these clothing fits closely to our bodies. Now, when you're looking at a economy like ours, and you want somebody to go out and wear beautiful dresses every day, mind you, even though I get my dresses really cheap because, I know how to find them real cheap, or they're donated to me. But these dresses be sometimes anywhere from $100 to thousands of dollars. The average person can't buy these things. Why? Because it costs a lot of money to make it and get the material. So we all walk around in this new man-made material of clothing, and he decides to judge the people that's wearing these type of clothing. That kind of pissed me off. Because you're not even seeing the scientific things that's transpiring to respect God. So you're still living in the olden days. This is the new millennium. And we tell people every day, either you're going to transform into the new millennium and accept it or die. Because this is the way the world is today. Like I went to the store to buy some shorts, and all of them were short shorts. Everybody walking around in short shorts. What can we do about it? My daughter ordered some shorts. And I said, let me see these shorts. She put them out. I said, oh no, you can't wear those. That's for grown people.
No, it was that shirt.
That too. But the fact still remains that if it's not presented for us to purchase at a fair price, you're going to see everybody in the same thing. This is just what it is. But we're not here to judge people based on what they are wearing. We want to seek their soul. So that's what pissed me off with that pastor. It truly pissed me off because I said to myself, you sitting here just saying the double standard. You're saying in the beginning how we can't look at people's looks. We can't look at how people, their abs, and to say that they are godly or not godly. But then you turn around and say, because they're wearing these tight workout clothes, and what's wrong with it? I mean, this is just my theory. You are angry about them wearing tight workout clothes because they go out and work out and their bodies look good in it. So if you feel some kind of way about the way these people are looking in their stuff, then maybe you need to change you. It has nothing to do with God. And see, that's another thing that a lot of false Christians do. You know, they want to always put everything on God. You know, everything is a sin. This is a sin, that's a sin. Yeah, a lot of stuff is sins. But then there's a lot of things that they portray to be sinful, and it's not. So you got to know the difference. You got to know the reality of the real. I don't care what a person got on. They could be wearing a long dress and be a demon. Somebody made a song. Who made that song? So I love listening to my rappers because they be putting a lot of key things in there. And I really listen to my rappers when they rap, you know, the ones that I like. And they always put key points. We all put key points in our songs. And they say, I got an angel in some Nike Airs and a demon in a dress. It's the facts. Because most of the time, when you meet a person in a dress, and they so-called supposed to be a Christian, they'll show you that their heart isn't. This is why we can't judge people based on what they have on. We have to judge them based on their heart and their actions. Because they can have on a $2,000 beautiful dress and be a demon. And the person with the cut up clothes, can be the angel. You got to know a person's soul. And what they stand for, their actions. And that's like, you know, and it's like what I tell, I'm dressed. You constantly, my daughter hungry, she want to eat, so we got to get ready to go. But I'm fully dressed. I'm ready to go.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Now you're fully
Okay, I'm fully dressed. Here we go. Let's go. Let's hit the road. But guys, I got to go because I got to feed my child. She hungry. We done woke up, so we got to get something to eat and get our day going and started. So I hope all of y'all have a wonderful day. It's Saturday. It's 12 something now, 12:30. I'm getting started late, but I was tired and God put it in my heart to talk to y'all. So I had to do what the Spirit told me to do. And God is going to make sure that I get compensated. It doesn't have to be through y'all, but He's going to make sure I get compensated. So I love y'all all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all remember, stop judging people. Stop lying. Stop stealing. And stop being jealous of others.
And gossiping.
And stop gossiping. It's not godly. I don't care if you got a shirt on that say, I love Jesus Christ. If you doing the negative that Jesus wouldn't do, you still a demon. And that's just the facts.
Not necessarily.
No, necessarily. Because we work towards doing right by God.
One sin doesn't make you a demon, or one sin won't also put you in hell.
No, that's true.
So exactly, it's not necessary.
But what I'm saying is they're doing all of this stuff and thinking it's okay. We want to get them closer to God. And you can't be doing all these negative things to bring negative impacts on people and think it's okay. No, and you can't keep repeating the same cycle. It don't work that way. And I'm glad she mentioned that. I'm glad she mentioned that because we make sinful, things sometimes, not knowing, but God gives us a chance to fix it. But we can't keep repeating it. Because if you keep repeating the same thing, you're going to get the same response or impact. Okay, and matter of fact, I wrote that on Facebook the other day. Good and bad. If you do the same thing badly, you're going to get the same bad impact. If you do things good, you're going to get the same impact. Once again, this is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond, Jackie Deja, and we had Miss Eja in on the podcast this morning. Well, afternoon. Y'all all take care. I'll talk to y'all soon.